we are here live in center of Ukraine, Kyiv, at Maidan Незалежності Square, and I hope you can hear us good. Let us know, write in the comments please how it sounds. And today we have special guest, Leo.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
I'm very grateful for Leo that he accepted our invitation to do this live stream with us, to share his experience dating in Ukraine, so make it helpful for other guys who is in this journey to find his loved one here in Ukraine. And we will talk about challenges Leo has in this process as a Chinese American young guy, and hope it will be helpful for you guys. So it will be Leo experience plus my coaching session from the Ukrainian perspective side of the woman. So you can feel free to write your questions and we will do our best to answer them. Okay, so let's get started. So Leo, my first question, how did you find the overall process of dating Ukrainian ladies here in Ukraine so far?
So that's up and downs, right? So first of all, I got a relatively high rejection rate. I sent out probably more than 20 letters now. For my choices, the rejection rate is probably 80%, maybe even higher. There are, of course, other ladies who are matched up to me by Tatiana. Those are nice girls, but since, well, I have a very picky taste, I reject a lot of girls too, so that's on me. So that's ups. It gave me great courage, right? Like I realized, wow, I got a market here, right? There are girls who actually like my physique, right? More than one girls actually almost ask, hey, am I having any Korean root? I don't have any Korean root. But from their point of view, the Korean physique is actually attractive. So that gives me a boost. I understand, okay, I have a chance here, right? I have a decent chance here with some ladies, right? But then, of course, at the same time, you got a lot of ladies never even give me a chance, right? Being simply an Asian, right? It doesn't even matter if you're Chinese, Japanese, no chance is no chance, right? So that's that. And also, of course, the communication, right? The communication was not something I expect. There are ladies who almost do not speak English. There are ladies who can catch up to my speed even if I speak with a normal like rhythm, right? Like say usually I talk a lot faster like this, right? I deal with Americans, I deal with business every day, right? I deal with classmates. But in here, they want me to talk like this, right? They want me to project as a calm, decision-making fellow, right? Like I know what I'm doing, and that's also a cultural shock to me, right? They don't need me to be upbeat, versus in America, I probably want to be a little bit more upbeat, just to project as an extrovert, right?
Thank you, Leo. We will come back into details more about what the difference is between dating here and Western world, the ladies, okay, into details. Yeah, and want to come back to the question of how many ladies you invite and how many you have positive response from the lady, yeah, you invite out. So and do some comment on that, okay, and why it happened. So why so high rejection rate? It's actually 90% rejection rate.
For me, okay.
Yeah, and I want to talk to you why it happened, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So from perspective of you know, I talked to matchmaker, also have feedbacks from the lady, you know, so why. So first of all, I want to mention why, because these girls are all real. If they confirm their interest to meet with you, they have serious intention to and consider you as a future, husband, so they don't want to waste your time, their time, if they don't see you, in the future. So if you would say meet scam ladies, you would have 100% interest rate, But when you have to face real ladies who, consider you as a future husband, then you have real picture,
Yes.
So
Yep.
it's a real situation, and why? Because of Ukrainian ladies, they have prejudice to like Asian men, It's true. And why is that? Because as you can see on the streets in Ukraine, there is not many nations, together. Like we don't even know with different cultures, Like so, I can say from the other experience, the hardest way is to help black men because it's too much unusual for Ukrainian lady.
Right.
And then other types of, like Muslim guys, I think second, and then all different ethnicity.
Right.
So it's more work for us.
Yes.
It's requires from your side, be patient, be strong to overcome this all, negative responses,
Right.
and have ability to choose more and more ladies,
Yes.
But
Yep.
it's still possible because the most question, I mean, when we ask ladies why you look for foreigner, the normal answer, we don't look for foreigner guy, we're just looking for a good man, So it's totally possible to find good lady, but you have to, know that for you it's a little bit more challenging. So second, it's Asian. Third reason why it's you talk about this. You're very picky at your choices. So you choose very high. You have very high bar,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
You choose only like top models, okay, like this, yes. And also they single.
Yes.
I mean, of course.
Yes.
They single, they're not-
Never married
Yeah, I
with no kids. That's one of my criteria. Yes, I do understand that is quite a tall ask. Yes.
Yeah, and because of they never married, don't have children, it's like cut your number of the lady you can invite, right?
Yep.
And at the same time, I can say a lady, single mom, she's more desperate for, and more serious about building a relationship with a man, compared to a single woman at her high, very high SMV rate, right?
Yes.
So it's like work both ways,
Yes.
like you picky
Yes.
and
Yes.
they also picky at
Yes.
their,
Yes. Yes.
So it's harder to find a match. But good news, you don't need harem, right? You don't need to fight here 5 wives.
Right. Yes.
You
Yep.
need only one. So
Yep.
it's totally possible, but it just takes more time and more efforts from both sides, right?
Yes. Yes. Correct. Yep.
So I think we go through main reasons. Yeah. So my next question, I will come back. My next question: how does your dating here in Ukraine compare to your dating experience in America?
Yeah, so that is one of the biggest cultural shock, I guess. In Western, the guy needs to be the extrovert. If a guy is not an extrovert, it's quite disadvantage in a lot of situation. Um, and also, interestingly, girls here don't like guys smile too much. I actually have a girl. I thought that is, something in the movies in the 60s, in the 70s. Oh, ladies like guys who are stone cold. That's still true. Interestingly, like that's girls who literally point out and say, "Hey, you smile too much." They literally say, "Hey, smiling like that is not honest." They literally say, "Oh, Americans are not honest because they smile too much and that's not showing their real emotion." But that's not true. In US, we want to have an upbeat atmosphere when we date. We want to be nice to each other. We want to show the interest. And so smiling is a very normal thing to do, especially say, in a business meeting and all that, right? But here they actually prefer a very quiet, right, um, to the point guy. They want the guy to say only what they need to say and be right there. That's it. They don't need them to show too much emotion. Um, After all, showing like smile all the time is almost like, oh, I'm trying to please you. I'm trying to please you. No, they don't want that. They want guys to have the ability to say, you know what, I'm okay to walk away from this. I don't need to smile to please you, and I'll be calm. I'll just be myself. The girl do the talking, most of the talking. You please me, and to a great extent, I think yeah, it is true. It's not something I expect when I come to here, right? At the beginning, I try to talk more to give the girl more topics, right, that she can grab onto, but that's bad. I realize that's actually pretty bad. Um, I can ask some questions to the girls, but turns out, yeah, it's better to have the dynamics having the girl do more of the talking. So that's a big lesson for me, and I screwed that up. I screwed that up in the first 4 dates. Plus the language challenge. Many ladies, they they need me to speak slowly, right? Just so that they can understand and catch up with the conversation. So that's also crucial. Slow down, be calm, let the lady do most of the talking. Yep.
Thank you. Leo, I want to do some comments on your speech, okay? So, yes, some Ukrainians, they do find, like, even we have this expression, how it's like, only when you all times smile, like you a little bit,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they find it's not normal, like not serious man, not strong man. So, and also they say, oh, in McDonald's they all smile to you, it's so fake, it's
Yeah,
not so
yeah.
sincere,
Yeah.
and sometimes I even get into, okay, fight, like, but I mean, light fight. I mean, I just share my experience. I found really Western people more happy, in general. And that's why you can meet in the street more happy, people compared to Ukraine. Maybe because of, especially in small cities or villages where, people have very hard life,
Yes.
So you can meet, like woman in their 50s and her, her face on the street, like, she walk, and probably it's not very common picture in the Western world. So,
Yes.
so yeah, I think it's not like something that Western people fake. They're very sincere in the expression of their emotions,
Yes, yep.
but just not every Ukrainian woman. I mean, yeah, woman understands this. Maybe because of lack of travel, they didn't see this, like
Yeah.
with their own eyes, and
Right.
so they have their, I don't know, perception from films or from
Right.
something like this. So next point is that about talkativeness. Yes. So why, yeah, to be successful here, especially for you, you like young guy, so you have to be, you need to know your competitors, and it's who is Ukrainian man mostly, yeah, and it's what Ukrainian lady used to, and we did great video with Jotov. We will add it in description below this video. Um, the Ukrainian lady like bad boys, yeah. Basically, this video just shows differences between Western guys and Ukrainian, and you can learn, from this video good features of Ukrainian man, which will help you to, basically win heart of Ukrainian woman. This small, thing that you can train in yourself or just behavior like this, especially from the beginning. As we tell you before, it's not necessarily you change your personality, to not talkative person, but maybe from the beginning, just when you allow lady to speak more on a date, when she tell you everything she feels, it help her to build rapport with you and have this emotional connection, when she speaks, like she feel that you into her and you know her, and it's something that help you to build this bridge between you and her, So it's important especially from the beginning, let her talk, and know her, and from the small details, make some actions, to build this relationship basically. So next thing, what you tell, it's about that it's different, yeah, in Western world and here, yeah. In general, many differences, yes, you found. So I want to also mention one thing that why also have high rejection rate, as I found out just 2 hours ago. Our one of our clients, Asian, he was, and we don't have big number you know, of ladies who open to date Asian men, and he was also recently in his journey. And what happened? He invited ladies out, and some ladies came from other cities, country ladies, and when they went together in the restaurant, he said, "Listen, it was expensive restaurant. He chose it, but then when they came there, she was hungry. But he said, "Listen, we will just drink coffee here." So he didn't allow her to even eat, and she was hungry, and she left the date hungry. So basically, after this super date, after she come 1,000 kilometers to see him from other city, and this kind of treatment, she had this already perception of Asian men, maybe they greedy or something like this. I talked to matchmaker, please talk to ladies, like, just don't make this, perception for all Asian men, but still, because of they have this, just recently this experience, they kind of, some of them become close, so you have this, so unfortunately it's like date bad time and a little bit for you also happen. But still, but still, I think the key in your journey just not to give up and continue this journey, right? So let's move on with our questions. I just wanted.
We have one question.
Okay.
To be successful with the Ukrainian woman, you have to become someone else. Are you cool with that?
To be honest, yes. Why? I'm from Hong Kong, just Am I born in US? No, I'm not. I grew up in Hong Kong. I don't really speak much English until I moved to US when I was 19. I pretty much have to change myself completely to adjust myself, right, to blend in US. I changed once. I understand it's necessary. I never believed the idea there's like a true self that you have to stick to besides your moral values. As long as you stick to your moral values, you're still your true self. How you present yourself, talking faster, talking more upbeat, like more reactive and all that, that's one way. Here, they prefer what I call the Don Draper style, right, in Mad Men. That's just classic, right? You lean, you be relaxed, you hold very steady gazes, right? Slow, calm talking style. That's what they prefer. Sure, I'll do it. Why not? I can do that.
Another question. So 90% rejection rate. So that means it's a no-go? Question.
Here's my answer. I am young, and as an Asian, we are really patient. We plan our things, we make it happen, and that's my strength, and the strength of a lot of Asian too. I got my doctoral degree after 15 years, right? My plan is to get a green card, get my business going. All that happened. My plan for more than 15 years never actually fall apart, right? I hit every single milestone. This is just my first time in Kiev, right? Trying to get a lady that I will be with for the rest of my life. So yeah, I got time. 90%, yeah. Every year I got 10%. 10 years I got 100%, right? So yeah, I don't think it's a very big deal, right?
And I want to add that still, even with 90% rejection, how many dates you date so far?
So I had 6 dates in person, and again, right, I have a very high standard. I'm picky. Um, Only one of them actually really attracts me, and I mess it up. I really mess it up, right? I didn't had the proper preparation for the date. I talk exactly like how I talk in America, and she actually accepted me for a good while, right? But I think came across as not reliable enough, right? I'm still young, my career is still early, right? And I was extremely honest to a point that is not helping myself, doing myself a disservice, right? Also, I was way too talkative. I spilled my life, right? I told her everything. That's just not helping, right? But still, that was like I term it the magical experience. She was really good looking, and she was very nice too. Very good English. That gave me a very big boost in terms of confidence. I can possibly date someone like her in the past. Means I can date someone like her in the future too, right? So that's a big boost to my confidence.
Yeah, I want to add just that um, I want you guys to understand that.
$5 super chat.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I want to add that it wasn't the case that nobody from ladies that Leo they don't like him, right? You have ladies who was really into you and write you and was active, but the case it should be mutual, that Leo likes lady and then she likes him back. So it's the case, right? And I want to also add that we have during last year not one client who meet his wife on the first date. So very often it's a case not of number ladies you meet, but a quality ladies you meet, and then again your own like uh, preferences, or how much how strong your bar that you want. Like you have tall bar, right?
Yes.
So.
Yes,
And the age you date, you have additional challenges. Also, your age, because like some of the lady you date not 20 years old lady, right? So
Yeah, most of my dates are around 30 years old. The youngest I date so far is 27. The oldest is 32. Yes, so within that range. Yes.
and we have in past client the same age with you, and we saw his challenges was that he have high level of rejection, and he wasn't Asian, and we was in shock, and we called ladies what's going on, and their feedback was like he's too young, he's not mature, maybe he have not enough relationship, he will not be faithful or things like that.
Yeah.
He was handsome also, it was not plus for him, imagine. So ladies can have this, like if you are old enough and mature, enough to be a leader of the family, because that's what they're looking for, strong
Yes,
man.
yes.
And come back to your, we talk about talkativeness, yeah?
Yes.
Why they find this not attractive, because they found this, it's like more feminine,
Yes,
quality.
yes.
And they want to be with a strong man. A strong man, it's not who is talk, but who is do things, So
Yep.
it's what they want. And come back to the question of the guy that are you ready to change yourself to find the lady you want, or work on yourself? I do believe like if you want to have relationship, what we dream about, we need to work on yourself. We need to be able to change yourself. Not present you as a gift. And to do with me what you like. Take me or bye bye. Like, let's say if I couldn't speak English or don't want, just I want to be myself, I would speak Russian. Joseph, you can talk to me in Russian. So you can learn Russian and then have relationship with me, because even I know English, I don't want to speak because it's not my level. With this kind of, like approach, would I be with Joseph and would we have relationship? It's all time some steps towards each other, right? Ladies learn English, because she wants to have sincere intention, to build relationship with you. So, and you, maybe like work on yourself to satisfy and give you what she needs, right? And why you are here? Because how many ladies you date for in USA with your tall bar for, like, let's say 5 years?
So I have very little dating experience. So just put it out there. Um, just for that particular one, well, very good-looking girl that I date. That's pretty much the only one, and that's the only second date too. Um, so that's just, well, like a new possibility to me, right? In the past, um, dating American girls are not easy for me. A lot of them do not want Asian either. No matter how hard I fix my accent, try to understand the culture, watch the movies, sing the songs even, uh, there is still this big challenge here. Not to mention I have to compete with a lot of, well, ABC, American born Chinese, right? I'm not even American born, so I don't even share the childhood, right? Which is difficult when it comes to dating. A lot of times, the childhood experience, the memory, and all that helps a lot when it comes to dating. It gives them trust, the idea of, I share a bonding experience with you. But since I do not have the childhood, I don't even get to compete with ABC, right? So that's just challenging for me too.
So, sorry, it's
Question.
not. Wait, it's not because of you just was so busy, work all time and don't have time for that. It's just hard to meet the lady that satisfied your level, right?
Oh yeah, that for
America.
sure. Oh yeah. So like you said, right? It's two ways, right? I am choosy. They are choosy too, right? So at the end of the day, do I have much? Did I get many matches? No, I did not. But on top of that, yes, I was busy. I was working hard on my degree, right? I need to succeed as well, right? Academically, I need to succeed in U.S. Otherwise, my value goes even lower, right? As an Asian, I don't want the academic part to be my hurdle. That just no. That is like the basic, right? I need to at least be good at academic or a good provider, right? Then I talk about other characters, right? Like extrovert, good at talking, right? Good at socializing, good at all that, right? So that's hurdle too as well. Yes, that is.
Have you tried dating in other countries like Hong Kong and maybe other countries?
Uh, Not really. In Hong Kong, it's hard for me because I don't stay in Hong Kong for too long. I talk to my buddies too, right? In Hong Kong, whenever I go back to Hong Kong, I ask, do you have challenges with getting dates? All my friends were saying, no, not at all. All my friends pretty much do not have to work hard to get a girlfriend. Uh, just a little bit of background. In Hong Kong, there are more ladies than guys. Not as extreme as Ukraine, but yes, there is actually more ladies than guys. And given that my background, my status, right? I did a college. I got a doctoral degree in U.S. If I do decide to stay in Hong Kong and try to get a girlfriend, my chance will be pretty high. Um, it's just I'm not staying in Hong Kong for long enough of a time to make those relationships happen. But that can be a consideration of mine in the future. Maybe I can rethink. Hey, maybe I get a Hong Kong girlfriend. Don't know.
Thank you. So my next question, what have you? We already touched this question a little bit, but what have you thought about ladies you've met so far, and why do you think they don't like you, or not all of them like you? Yeah, because some really like you.
Yeah. I think some of them like me because my physique. I I actually start to think maybe I'm not a typical looking Chinese. There's more than one lady say that I may be a Korean Chinese mix. I do not know why, but I'm pure Chinese. Uh, at the same time, sorry, just want to make sure like the question you say like different ladies like how they look at me. Um, Most of them will perceive me as intelligent. Even the lady whom I really like eventually say there's just no chemistry and end the relationship. She agrees I'm smart. Um, I I do love philosophy a lot. I read about psychology, politics, economics. I care about all that. So if the topic happens to go into those direction, usually I know what I talk about, so that's a plus. But at the same time, that's also a matching right process. Like uh, some of the ladies, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Some of the ladies are very passionate. They really want to like get intimate with me. Versus some of the ladies are in a way kind of cold. Um, so apparently the two types of ladies, or more than two types I should say, right, in reality, they have different reaction to me, right? uh, how much I talk, what I talk about, right, have different reaction on them. So it's more diverse than I think. We just cannot say, oh, all Ukrainian girls have a certain particular preference all the time. That's not true. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. There is so many types of the ladies you can meet and with different preferences. We can talk about general like features, of Ukrainian lady, but still, there is different personalities, different desires, different, you know, experience, life experience. So it's important to meet, your soulmate, yeah, with whom you're on the same wave. And I want to mention also. Uh, behind the camera, we talk with you a lot, right? And you, when you ask you what you're doing for a life, and the way you tell us was different how you tell to the ladies, right? It's about how you present yourself,
Yes. Yep.
and what we teach you how to present, because I see big potential as a Ukrainian lady when I listen to what you do, and I see big potential as you in future as a being good provider, stable man. It's basically what Ukrainian lady looking for, and this serious, reliable man who commitment for relationship, and like not like a win, come and go, So, but the way you present yourself, maybe it was. I don't know. It was like lack of confidence, and it's just like it's just basically they want to see very confident man. It's what
Right.
I did video about charisma. How it's important. They like fly the bee. But I see relationship the same at the business. You train, you grow, you learn from your mistakes, right? And then next time you're more more prepared for that. So I think also the the reason why you was rejected by ladies you like the most is just the way you present yourself, right?
Yes, that for sure. Yeah, for that particular lady, I definitely tell her like all the concerns I have, which is like Joe was saying, right? Too much information. They don't understand entirely, right? Why I have those thoughts, and it doesn't give a very good image. I'm not, and Joe is never saying anything like lying per se, right? But it's more like you need to present your case in a way that is just good enough, right? Just enough information to be comprehensible, right? But beyond that, a lot of business decision, concern, process is just too much for the lady. right? Is That's something in the future, right? Like when the time comes, when the moment comes, you might present it to her, but at the beginning, there's just no need. It just complicates the situation. And so, yeah, that's a big lesson for me as well, like how to present myself as a uh, reliable man who has a good career plan, right? Which I do. I have multiple, even plan B per se, right? And the plan B probably, in fact, is better than plan A in some ways. Um, so yes, that is definitely a big lesson. Yes.
Yeah, this old date, how we say after 30 plus, it sometimes looks like interview, and it's important not to lose this romantic note. When you went on the lady on the date, then you ask questions each other and just, you know, mm, be this, have this magic in there or like romantic, just not to be like you just meet for interviewing each other, right? So it's important to, have this mood, right?
Yeah. For that, for me, it's a little bit trickier, right? Because I have a high standard. If the girl doesn't attract me, it's harder for me to have that kind of magical feeling, right? Or like butterflies in the stomach, that kind of feeling. Um, but for girls who really attract me, yeah, in fact, it's almost hard to like contain yourself, right? To maintain your posture, uh, keep calm, right? And present yourself properly. That in fact becomes difficult because maybe there's too much magic in the air, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that for sure. That is almost uncontrollable if it comes. Yes.
Um, I know your brave story that I would like you to share, which happened with me and Joe when we encouraged you to do street pickup. How did you find this experience and how it was different from, if you can compare this experience with West and in Ukraine, how it's going?
Yeah. So it's very different. So in U.S., especially in my area, right? Um, the the left politics, which I understand, I totally understand. Especially, I in fact embrace a lot of values of left politics. Um, there's a very strong advocate of respect of ladies' free will, right? And that's a mutual respect of like, hey, what do they want on the street, right? In my area, a lot of times is a taboo to pick up girls on the street, and I totally understand, and I do not do that. I do not do that in my area at all, because girls, they assume to be uh, having their own good time, right? They feel like even if I dress up in a bar, it does not mean you can hit on me. I'm having a good time in the bar, and guys just don't bug me, leave me alone, right? So that's the consensus that you have to know in the society. Which means at the same time, right, I realize when I come to Kiev, a lot of ladies are actually very open to talk to strangers. They don't feel like entirely an invasion of space. Oh, another very important point. Kiev is very safe, very safe. You can see little kids playing on scooters on the street with their mom like 50 yards away, all right? So that's how much security a lot of people feel at night. And so even as a man, right, I approach a girl and I talk to her, the reaction is amazingly positive. She just start talking back in English to me, right? And I have no ill intention, right? I respect her. I'm not trying to get a one night stand at all. That's definitely not my intention, right? I want to know her. I want to have a good time, as well as I want to give her a good time too, and she wants a good time, right? Um, so we exchange a little bit of our backgrounds, right? I'm from Hong Kong, and I learned that she's a doctor, you know. Um, so turns out the reaction is completely different from my expectation. So that is that is a big, I would say a cultural shock. Yes, it is.
Thank you. Yeah, I could say that Ukrainian ladies, they normally complain that they pick up by very bad boys and they don't like them, and they actually wanted to pick up by good men, you know. So guys, if you're, you know, brave enough to do that, you're welcome, and just don't afraid. You Ukrainian ladies, they're not rude, you know. If you they don't like you, they will never tell you, you know, something bad, you know. Just they will be very polite. Even they can give you their number, but it doesn't necessarily she will pick up phone when you will call. But she will be afraid to offend. You know, it's like something cultural. You know, and the problem with pick up, when you pick up her, you don't know, like, you know. I mean, maybe she has a boyfriend or like, but anyway, it doesn't necessarily she's looking for, you know, foreign. I mean, yeah, marry a foreigner, but it's still very good experience for you guys if you have time, you know, even just to push up your confidence in yourself, right? And this confidence is very powerful, you know. It will work for you on your, you know, dating here, also in any area of your life, also business, you know, when you feel it's go up, right? Agree with me?
Yep.
Also, Leo, I have a question. How did you find coaching uh, with us? If it was helpful for you or open some new things for you?
Yeah, so I will say, yeah, it's a great help. Because when I mess up my first 4 dates, right, you have a lot of feedback from the girls, but those feedback do not come with like a theory behind it, not a principle behind it. Like, why do they say those feedback to me? And so it's very hard to decode why do they say those things to me, right? But after Joe, like say even just an hour and a half of a session and tell me, no, they don't want you to talk too much. Why the idea behind it of not talking too much is good. It goes a long way. It would be very hard for me to figure it out on my own. I understand some men they're calm, right? They are just born to be focused and introvert at the same time. That helps for them, but for me, I need the little tip, right, from here and there. Also down to like execution, right? Not just, oh, big idea, on general, be confident. Yes, be confident is important. How to be confident? Down to the executionable like steps, right? As simple as just lay back, right? Talk slower, have a better, more steady gaze at your lady when you talk. All these just goes a long way. So yeah, besides just theory, right? Coaching also helped me to deal with actual steps, right? Like say how to talk about my business, right? Actual example, right? With, well, dialogues, me and him, and say, no, you talk like this. You give just enough of information and you need to stop. He actually tell me literally where to stop. You stop right there. Why? Because first of all, you don't need to give too much information. It's overwhelming for the lady. And two, when you stop at the right moment, like he was saying, it creates an open loop in the lady's mind and they need to know more, which is great because when they are somehow putting in effort to get information from me, it's just subconsciously make them feel like they're working to get me, which helps with the dynamics. So that's interesting lessons that I learned down to actual dialogue to dialogue level, which helps a lot. Yes.
Thank you, Leo. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah, be cool. It's something very powerful here in Ukraine when you can have this mood on a date. Yeah, and it's just appears in so many small details. It's how you invite lady on a date. You know, how you sound, how like your speech, your body language. It's so many things, you know. And the thing that Ukrainian lady, she read all small details, you know. She looked into everything, how much tips you left, you know, and she read from this tip you man or where you invite her, you know, like if you as we talked before, like if it's in the Western world, it's okay to have a date in a
Yes.
coffee shop.
Yes.
So in Ukraine, it's like, you know, guy, if you invite just to go in coffee shop, it like you don't show your care. You know, you like, you know, it's normal to invite lady for a nice dinner. You know, yeah, and then you can have walk or. But what you
Yes.
learn about high heels, yeah,
Yes.
if she can walk.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Yeah, things, these small things that you need to think. And but basically I can say all the things it's around about, like when lady feel that you care about her and you think about, like if she's cold you can offer her jacket, you know, or like if she's on high heels you understand she cannot walk and you just, you know, tell this, you know. So next time when you invite her out and plan on a walking tour, just, you know, tell her please wear good shoes, you know, to
Right.
walk. And this small thing is so important, like, you know, like she's really understand that, you know, you cares about her. And this most things that, you know, each Ukrainian lady wants to feel. So my last question is that if guys active and want to ask something, you're welcome. And my last question is your 3 big tips for guys who are going to come, you know, here, from your perspective, what you learn or can help guys with understanding. Yeah.
So yeah, the biggest lesson for sure is take your time, talk slow. Uh, there's no need to talk too much. Really, it's really counterproductive to talk too much. Talk slow also help them to understand you better. Many of them, after all, still learning English, right? So just makes them feel like they can follow the dating rhythm goes a long way. That's first biggest lesson for me, for sure. Um, Two, plan ahead of time. I myself actually find it quite difficult, just because this is my first trip. This is my first trip here in Kiev. I do not know the restaurant here. I even have to know my way to get to a food court where I eat most of my dinners, right? Like simple things to just to sustain yourself. You need to spend time on that too, right? And on top of that, you need to think ahead and say, if the lady likes something more quiet, like say a restaurant, where you need to actually lead. You need to say, I'm going to that restaurant. I want to try that restaurant, and you go for it. Um, so which means you have to prepare beforehand and say, I know this restaurant is good. You might even try it yourself beforehand to understand what's the atmosphere there, how you deal with the server. That would be great, right? And if they don't want to sit down, or when it's time to, well, be a little bit more active after you sit down for a while, how long can they possibly walk? That's a big lesson for me too, right? Look at the high heels. If the high heels is just not comfortable enough for them to take long walks, plan a very short walk. Plan to walk just a very short distance and sit somewhere else again with drinks, again, sit down and talk, right? So you have to be prepared. There need to be maybe even a plan B. I'm a very much a planning guy. So for some of you guys, if you are not as spontaneous as I am, as spontaneous as someone else like me, you need to plan. You want to do that. I guess the last one is be open mind. That's important to just accept, like this is very different from how you date in the past. So whatever the cultures say or whatever the ladies say, pay close attention to them. Think about, okay, I mess up now. how can I do it better next time? I don't want to waste time, I really don't want to waste time. I hope practically every date I learn something from it if I fail. So it is not a waste. So my chance of success will just keep increasing rapidly, right? And I will just suffer less, right? I don't have to burn more time to find my wife. Simple as that. So those are what I think the big takeaways.
Yeah, thank you very much, Leo. And yeah, it's just like what we talked before about talkativeness or just be yourself. It's important, but somehow it's about like mm, it's in the middle of being yourself, but understand what acceptable and wanted culturally. If you want to marry, Ukrainian wife, then you need to understand that you need to treat them differently from, Western women. Yeah, for example, if you go to a restaurant, you pay the bill, not expect her to pay because she will never show up on next date.
And
So
pay good tips.
yeah,
Pay like 10%, 15% is expected. That's also a big lesson. Yeah, like pay good tips. Like just make sure you do it. And just from like even from humane point of view, you want the server to make a good living. They don't make much money out of their basic salary, so giving good tips is doing them a good favor too. So why not?
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. So it's many small details, and the more you learn and understand, it requires not to totally change your personality, right? But just to be successful, it's to know what lady wants, and just, like put effort to that, right? Act in that way that they expect. But at the same time, I want to tell that, some ladies apply, for example, to find the foreign guy, for example, because they want talkative man. It's not like every time the case that they want, very, you know, like close type of the man. So it's about finding your person. And Leo, I know that you're in the process and you have new list, and you have new list, and now matchmaker right now working on that, and I appreciate and I see how fast like you educate, you make right conclusion, you just don't take offense, or not give up, but just learn, and you like rake rocket, move to to your start, the right direction, and I wish you to find your loved one here and in Ukraine, and hopefully we will help you with that. Yeah, and I'm very grateful again for that you come today and help other guys to understand these cultural differences, because even I learned from you many things about Western world, how it's there, and just sometimes it blow my mind, but it helped me to understand, what you face and how I can help you here to understand what they want, because it's really different worlds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Any final words, you guys?
Um, so my background is a little bit, I guess, different, right? Um, Again, I'm not born in U.S., right? So I'm from Hong Kong. So the moment I got to U.S., practically I'm forced to be an introvert because I don't know how to speak much English, right? And so I don't speak much. But then I have to actually really encourage myself to say, hey, Leo, you need to talk. Like in US, a man who doesn't even talk much in a party, you just simply do not make friends, right? So I want to say personality is a fluidic thing, right? 10 years later, what will you become? You do not know, right? Once I come to Ukraine, like say, if I come here a lot more times, and not just about the ladies, to be honest, just simply the interesting people that I met with, right? I met with Corey, a person who has a completely different life from me. Even Joe, right, with a lot more experience than I do. Just meeting with them changes my perspective of my life, of the world. And who knows what's my personality 10 years later, right? I don't know. And so do not get too hung up on, oh, I'm like this, and I'm so in the future I'm also gonna be like that. That's it. We have a lot more possibilities than we think a lot of times. So try. I mean, try what's out there.
Yeah, it was very encouraging speaks. Speak. Thank you again, Leo. And huh? Coaching.
Date coaching.
Huh? What?
Date coaching.
Date coaching?
First dates.
I don't understand. Okay, just try to help me with something. I can finish? Okay, guys, thank you for being with us today. I hope we cover some questions in this big topic of dating and finding your wife here in Ukraine. And we, together with Leo, encourage you to come here in Ukraine to find your wife if you feel that journey for you. Not how it calls. It's not easy, not difficult, but not easy. No, easy but not difficult. Simple, simple but not easy. Yeah, journey.
I won't
Sorry.
say it's all easy, but it's not meant to be easy, right? If it is so easy, I stay at home, right? It's definitely a big shock for me, but that's exactly what I need at this moment in my life. I need to kick myself out of my shell, and I need to see more, right? I did it once, 15 years ago when I moved to US, right? I kicked myself out of my comfort zone and moved to US, right? And now I'm stabilized. I have already stabilized myself in US, so I'm ready to kick myself out of my shell again and see something more. It's more than just dating, to be very honest. It's a lot more than just dating. It's just seeing more out there in the world, seeing why people act like that, right? And you have a much more mature view of the world and be a real man, right? Then the dating almost becomes, something that comes along with it. So that's how I see it. And so, oh yeah, this experience, is it all positive? Heck no, but it should not be. And it's great. It's exactly what I need. Yep.
I believe it's a way how we grow. So kick your ass, guys, from the sofa and come to Ukraine and go on a real date with the real ladies and have real experience, and hopefully it will be successful at the end of the day. Yes. Okay.
Yep.
Bye.
All right.
Yeah. Bye bye. Thank you for being with us today.